Okay, now once again with the normal walk, let's call it a normal walk, I will just give a little bit more of detail, even if it's just a sketch, okay? Because as I told you before, this is not just about the legs, and in the previous approach we focused a lot on the legs. So yes, the legs is an important thing, but everything in the body is important when everything works well together with a good timing and momentum. So we will do again the main poses. So the first one that we did was contact pose. That's the one that we will create here. So this means that one leg is on the ground, we touching with the heel, okay, and the other one is just touching with the tip of the foot. So the weight is balanced between the 2 feet. So my contact foot is, in this case, is the left foot, okay, touching here on the ground, and this is my right leg. The following pose, and now I will not make them one after another. I will divide this walk cycle into parts. So we have the contact pose for the left foot, and we also have the contact pose for the right foot. So now I will add the right foot as contact pose, okay? So I will make the 2 contact poses. So let's make the other contact as well. And remember that I asked you to consider the rotation of the body while we walk, and also with the hips. So the right hip is here in the back, and the left hip is being pushed forward, and the shoulders work in opposite directions. So here, if I trace a line, my shoulders are doing this and the hips are doing this, okay? This should be the right arm that is going front, while the right leg is coming back, and while the left leg is going forward, the left arm is going back, okay? So this is in this contact, and in the other contact would be a bit the opposite, okay? So what will happen is would be the back leg that is going back and the front leg that is going forward, and the shoulders should do something to make the balance of the body. So it would be something like this, okay? So instead of having the front arm forward, would be this arm here, that is the leg is going forward. So this arm will be here, and while this is the left leg is there, the front arm will be here, okay? So it will be the left one. Anyway, this is something that I will work on later. I'm talking about this now because of the position of the torso. You see, I'm trying already to make this rotation visible. So this is the back of the character, and this is the chest of the character, okay? All right, so we have 2 contacts. Okay, they are very similar, but they are not exactly the same. And it's a good idea to avoid placing the legs exactly in the same point you see here. So these legs are actually very, very close. And I can make this leg coming a bit back, because this is the front leg, and this leg here, that is the back leg, I can make it a little back also. So it will be, they are not like overlapping exactly one on another, because if you make the 2 parts of the animation exactly the same, would be like unnecessary to have actually 8 frames. You cannot just basically have 4, and you are just making a bit of visual confusion with the left and the right. And if you make some differences between these 2, it will be more visible that you have left leg and right leg, and all the cycle is more natural. All right, so now we have 2 poses, and we know that this is an 8-frame walk. So this is the first frame. So I will drag this one here. So we will have the down, the passing, and the up. All right, so next frame you can make, if you want, you can also divide this half animation. So the first part of the contact also in 2, and then I will make the passing position. The passing position is where the foot is flat here, and all the weight of the body is balanced in over this leg. Okay, so I will make that pose right now. Okay, so here we have this foot flat on the ground, and if it's not flat on the ground, make sure that you make it flat on the ground, and all the weight will be on this foot. Okay, so this is the passing. And again, we will have a passing pose also after this pose. Okay, so this pose would be a bit similar, but with the swapped legs. Be side in a side view to the viewer, so it can be something like this. We already see here a good flow. We just have 4 frames for both legs. We can already feel the flow. So in this case here, you see the rotation, maybe this leg here, since this is the moment where we see the torso. I will bring the leg a bit back. Now we just need to increase the down and the high of our character, because right now this is a down pose, the one that we see here, and this is our up pose in this moment. As you can see here again, this is an up pose, and this is a down pose. But we know that these are not the highest points or the lower points. We know that a lower pose would be after the contact, and the upper pose would be before the next contact. So this would be a middle pose, and this will be also a middle pose, and they are basically the intermediate pose between ups and downs. So this up is not up here. So in this case, the character is coming down the moment where we are going to pass the leg that is lifted to front. So this is the down pose. Okay, here would be the up. Okay, so this is not a up and this is not a down. What we will have here is like here even lower, and here will be up. So here we have a up, but it's not a up. So my up pose must be even higher than that one. Okay, and then where we have that down, it's here. It's not here, it would be here. Okay, so here is our character where is lower than before, but we want it even lower. Okay, and here we also consider the ease in and ease out, or slow in and slow out, because the differences between heights between 3 or 4 poses, you compare 2 keyframes and you can make like an average between 2 values of height. But in that case, you are making a constant velocity, a constant movement, and we learn that if we avoid that, and if we replicate the movement of things as it happens in real life, would be not a constant velocity, would be like slowing in and slowing out. So that's why here you can also think about that and play with it. So what I'm thinking here is, okay, so this is my passing pose, and the passing pose will not be very distant from our lower pose. The jump of high would happen next. Okay, and because we want to the moment where the character is down stays lower a bit and then goes up, so we give it energy, like doing like this. Instead of doing this, we are just making it much more interesting. You will see the final result. Okay, so let's create here a down where the head is touching here, and remember that is a moment where the weight of the body is coming to this foot, so this foot will be flat on the ground, holding all the weight. It's not in a pose so balanced as we have here. So here the body is totally balanced. We feel that here we can stay in this pose and hold it for a couple of seconds or even minutes. We can do it, but that doesn't happen in this pose that you are creating here. This is just a moment, like something will happen next, so the body will change its its mass, so we can reach here. So let's put all the weight in this. Okay, now all the weight is here, and then it starts to coming up, and this would be the moment where we have the character more straight. And remember that it will be only one leg touching the ground, and again it would be a pose similar to this one, because the weight of the body will not be balanced. Again, it's just a transition for everything more stable. In this case, we made a transition to this pose where all the weight is balanced into this foot, but here what we will create is something that will be unbalanced between this one here and the contact point. So we are bringing the weight to both feet. Okay. And now we do more or less the same thing for the other legs. So this is more of the same. I will not explain everything again because it's to do the same, but for the other leg, see? So there's a lot of energy here, right? Now let's add the arms, considering that we already have here the movement of the torso. Pay attention to the shoulders and then just add the arms. I will not add the ends yet. You already know that I will add a little bit of delay in the arms, but I will also add delay on the hands. So first, the arms. In this case, I will rotate the arms and also the two parts of the arms. I will play with both, okay? I will not work with them as a just a single element. I will considering them independent. Here you see that what I'm doing here is like this part of the arm here will bend up because the body is going down. So you think about these elements, they are working together and they are being animated together, but the body, every body always look for the balance. So sometimes there's a tendency to go in the opposite direction or do the opposite movement because of this search for balance. Okay, so this arm is going up as the body is coming down. So here you see that the shoulder here is in the more forward position possible, and then here it starts to come a bit backwards, and then here is already here in the center of the torso, and the back arm is in that pose is quite open. Here starts to come forward. I'm just letting that arm staying behind. Okay, so it doesn't really change from here to here. I'm talking about the left arm, and in the next pose then it goes forward, and here I bring the right shoulder. I continue to do this movement from here to back. Okay, so I bring my shoulder backwards, and here is even backwards. Okay, and here I have this shoulder appearing here. All right, and now I will make a similar process because again I'm in the other part of the contact. Okay, again now I will do the same thing before. It's the same process. So here the front, this part of the arm lifts while the body goes down, and I do the same here. See? Take. And then this is again the passing position. And let's let that. Yep. And then the arm, the right arm is here, just like go into that pose. Let's check. Yeah. So in this first pose, I will make my front hand relaxed, and since the next pose the arm is coming down, the hand is coming a bit up. Okay, And here the same, the arm is coming down and I leave the hand. Don't exaggerate too much on the hands, else it would be like they are shaking hands, and that's not what we want, okay? This needs to be very subtle to work well. And in this pose here, and notice that the left hand, I don't need to worry about it because we don't see it, but in this right hand, what I did was like, I'm trying to leave the hand behind like a trace. So it's, the arm is coming backwards, so the hand is doing like it's like a tail, you know? And that's why I have that in this pose. So now this up. Now if you just pay attention to this hand, what will happen next is like it stays there, okay? And again is making that trace after the arm, okay? And this hand here, the left hand, I'm just doing that swap here where, you know, like the hand is coming up, and the moment where the hand comes down, that's when I change the direction of the hand. See, for example, when I do this, I'm doing like, when the arm is coming up, the hand is going down, and when I swap the movement, okay, and now I start to go down, my hand goes up. So that's what I'm simulating here, okay? And yeah, so that's an approach more dynamic, okay? And I just did this exercise so you could see something with more detail. From now on, we will try to create walk animations with different moods, because of course that's the ways that you can vary the walks are infinite. And what we want here is to focus in some aspects that you understand why the mood changes when I change the momentum of these poses. So the main poses that we told here, the contact, the down, the passing, the up, and the contact again, and again the other for the other leg. This is a very, very important. And first, you have to accomplish a normal walk, a regular walk, before going any further. Don't try to add a personality to your walk while you don't control every single detail on a normal walk, okay? Don't try to add facial expressions. Don't try to carry objects in your hands. Don't do that unless you are already very comfortable with this process of a normal walking, okay? Practice a lot, do a lot of walks. Don't change the shape of your character yet. Don't make it like too high, or a fat character, a very thin character, a character with big legs, with short legs. Don't do that kind of variations yet, okay? Just practice normal walks and try to control every single detail in these elements that we have, without hair, without facial expressions, well, and so on. So good work, guys. I hope that you will enjoy doing these walk cycles because they are really important.